Our next story is the story of a tech star. It's the story of an ambitious woman who has transitioned from being a rising star to a convicted fraudster. I'm talking about Elizabeth Holmes. What went wrong? What's the story here? Let's just break it down for you. We go back to the year 2014. Elizabeth Holmes was grabbing global attention. From being named as the next Steve Jobs to being titled as the world's youngest self-made female billionaire, Holmes was ready to change the face of medical science. How exactly? With her company, Theranos. And what was the promise that her company made? It promised its Edison test could detect severe health conditions. But unlike conventional practices, it could do that with a few drops of blood. Meaning a little prick, a few drops of blood is all that one needed to diagnose diseases like cancer and diabetes. Away from the hassle of needles. You heard that right. But by 2015, the seams were coming apart. And within a year, Holmes was declared to be fake. The technology that she apparently founded did not work at all. As a result of which, by 2018, Theranos, the company that she founded, collapsed. Holmes launched Theranos after dropping out of Stanford University. And back then, she was 19 years old. She was ambitious. She claimed that she could bring a revolution in disease diagnosis. In fact, this was not the first time that she expressed her larger-than-life aspirations. At the age of 9, she wrote a letter to her father declaring that she wanted to discover something new, something that mankind did not know was possible to do. Just imagine a 9-year-old saying this. Theranos brought her dream to reality, so much so that powerful people were enthralled. They invested without seeing audited financial accounts. The US Treasury Secretary, George Shultz, media tycoon Rupert Murdoch, and America's richest family, the Waltons, were among her backers. Holmes was also invited to join Harvard Medical School as his board member. However, things started to unravel when a whistleblower raised concerns about the company's flagship testing device, the Edison. People started questioning Holmes' idea. They doubted the very premise of her testing device, and they found loopholes in Holmes' understanding of the product. The Wall Street Journal, in fact, wrote a series of exposés claiming that the results were unreliable and the firm had been using commercially available machines. Not only this, it was also found that most of these machines were made by other manufacturers. What happened next? Lawsuits piled up, partner cut ties, and regulators banned Holmes from operating her blood testing device. Currently, Holmes has been charged on the grounds of fraud. She is convicted of misleading the doctors, scamming her investors, and deceiving her patients. Holmes is to pay $452 million in restitution to the victims of her crimes and is sentenced for 11 years. She is being held jointly liable with her former lover, Ramesh Sunny Balwani, who was also a top Theranos lieutenant. Balwani is already in prison after being convicted in a separate trial. He has been sentenced for 12 years and 11 months. And while pursuing her audacious ambition, Holmes raised nearly $1 billion, all of which toppled with the collapse of Theranos. Despite this, Holmes continues to tightly cling on to her original story, the story of changing the face of diagnostic testing. However, people who know her doubt if this could ever change. In fact, prosecutors have argued that Holmes is blinded by emotions. This is to the extent that she will continue to put people in harm's way. Further, in her court filings, she apologizes but accepts no responsibility and continues to insist that she is the victim. A lot of people pinned their hopes on Elizabeth Holmes. Their support lent her credibility, as did her demeanor. But she failed. They say that ambitions without action are a part of fantasy. And Holmes' story is perhaps a reminder of the same. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.